Hello students, how are you? Welcome in my class number 2 of chapter nucleus. In previous class of nuclei, we have discussed what is composition of nucleus, what is size of nucleus, how nuclear size depends on mass number, what is nuclear density, and related topics we have discussed in the previous class. Today in this class, we are going to discuss following basic parts. Nuclear force. Here in this topic, we will discuss what is nuclear force, what are the properties of nuclear force. Then we discuss what are nuclear reaction, how energy is produced in a nuclear reaction, and what are the types of nuclear reaction in which there are two main reactions which are nuclear fission. Nuclear fission can be divided in two categories: chain reaction, that is controlled chain reaction, and uncontrolled chain reaction. And finally we will discuss nuclear fusion and some questions related to the topic. The first topic we are going to discuss: nuclear force. We know that nucleus consists of many protons and neutrons. We know that neutrons are neutral but protons are positively charged, and when these protons comes very close to each other, then the electrostatic force between protons becomes very high. In spite of this fact, or in spite of this large Coulomb's repulsive force, nucleus is found to be stable. It suggests that there is some other force which is greater than or which is stronger than the Coulomb's repulsive force. It suggests that the existence of more strong attractive force. Why more strong attractive? Because there is large Coulomb's repulsive force, and in spite of that repulsive force, nucleus is found to be stable. It suggests that there is some existence of more stronger attractive force in comparison to Coulomb's force. Thus, there is a force inside the nucleus which is attractive and strong enough to overcome the Coulomb's repulsive force. It means the effect of repulsion due to Coulomb's force will be superseded by the attractive nuclear force, and finally the nucleons will bound together. Hence, we can say force responsible for binding of nucleus inside the binding of nucleons inside the nucleus is known as nuclear force. Then how we can define nuclear force? The force responsible for binding of the nucleons inside the nucleus in spite of the stronger Coulomb's repulsive force is known as nuclear force, and this suggests that nuclear force is very strong in comparison to Coulomb's repulsive force. Now we are going to discuss properties of nuclear force. There are so many properties of nuclear force. We will discuss all the properties of nuclear force one by one. First, we can say nuclear force is short range force. It acts within the nuclear dimensions. It means nuclear forces can act only inside the nucleus and not outside that. Nuclear forces can act only inside the nucleus and not outside that. Nuclear force is short range force and it acts within the nuclear dimension. The second property is that nuclear forces are charge independent. Nuclear forces are charge independent and acts between proton-proton, proton-neutron and neutron-neutron with same magnitude. It means there is no effect whether there are two nucleons which are positively charged or both the nucleons are neutral. It means neutron-neutron. Hence, we can say that nuclear force is charge dependent. Force between neutron-neutron, force between proton-proton, and force between neutron, proton, both are having same value, hence nuclear forces are charge independent. Next property we can say nuclear force is spin dependent. Generally the nucleons are having spin half. So how nuclear force depend on spin? It is found that those nucleons which are having parallel spin, they will produce more nuclear force, or we can say nuclear force between nucleons is more if they are having parallel spin in comparison to anti-parallel spin. Nuclear force is attractive force. Nuclear force is strongly attractive up to certain distance, and if the distance between two nucleons becomes very small, or we can say it is less than 0.8 Fermi, then nuclear force have some repulsive component, but in general nuclear force is attractive force, and it is the most attractive force present in the nature out of the fundamental forces like gravitational force, electrostatic force, magnetic force, or nuclear force. Nuclear force is the strongest attractive force. Next property, nuclear force is the strongest force present in nature. This force is 100 times stronger than the Coulomb's repulsive force. Although Coulomb's attractive force or Coulomb's repulsive force is very strong, but nuclear force is 100 times stronger than the electrostatic force. Therefore, the relative strength of gravitational force, electrostatic force, and nuclear force we can write as 1:10⁻36 10⁻38. It means if we compare this strength, this is gravitational force and this is nuclear force. If we compare, or if we write the strength of nuclear force, gravitational force as 1, then strength of electrostatic force will be 10⁻36, and the strength of nuclear force will be again 100 times stronger than this, that will be 10⁻38. It means if there is some question what is the ratio of strength of electrostatic force to the gravitational force, then answer will be 10⁻36. And what is the ratio of strength of nuclear force to the gravitational force, then answer will be 10⁻38. And the question is that if the ratio is asked between the strength of nuclear force and the strength of electrostatic force, then it will be 100. The next property is that nuclear forces are non-central forces. I think you might be knowing from class 11 that those forces which obey inverse square law and always acts towards the center are known as central forces, but nuclear forces are non-central forces. They do not obey inverse square. The next property is that nuclear forces are exchange forces. Before discussing nuclear forces are exchange forces, here I am going to discuss 2 points related to the gravitational force and electromagnetic force. During electromagnetic force, there is exchange of some particles that are known as photons. Similarly, during gravitational interactions, there is exchange of particles that are known as gravitons. In the similar manner, nuclear forces are also exchange forces. It means whenever nuclear forces acts between nucleons, there will be some exchange of particles, and according to scientist Yukawa discovered this fact. According to scientist Yukawa, the nuclear force between two nucleons is the result of the exchange of the particles called mesons. It means mesons are the particles which get exchanged between two nucleons whenever nuclear force acts between them. Mesons may be of different type, pi mesons, mu mesons, that is not in our syllabus. Therefore, we will not going to discuss the mesons in very detail. Here we will discuss only that nuclear forces arises due to the exchange of smaller particles that are known as mesons. And the final last property of nuclear forces is that nuclear forces are saturated force. Here saturated force means nuclear force acts only between the neighboring nucleons, and the range of nuclear force is very small. Nuclear force can act only within the nuclear dimensions, and as the size increases, size between two nucleons increases beyond Fermi, then nuclear force reduces to zero. Hence nuclear forces are of saturated nature. Here we can see the nuclear force between two nucleons falls rapidly to zero as their separation is more than a few Fermi. It means the range of nuclear forces is not very high. They are a short range force, and this lead to the saturation of forces in a medium or a large size nucleus. Hence nuclear forces act among neighboring nuclei only, and this fact is also known as saturated force, or we can say nuclear forces are of saturated nature. So these are the certain properties of nuclear forces. I am summarizing once again. Nuclear forces are the strongest force present in nature. Nuclear forces are short range forces. Nuclear forces are spin dependent. They are charge independent. Nuclear force is strongly attractive, and nuclear force is the strongest attractive force present in nature. Strength of nuclear force is approximately 100 times than the electrostatic force. Nuclear forces are saturated force, and nuclear forces are exchange forces. This is a very important question of CBSE, which is generally asked. Write at least 4 properties of nuclear force. You can easily write these properties. Clear? Now we are going to discuss next topic. This topic is nuclear reactions. That is very important topic. Nowadays nuclear reactions are widely used in the production of electricity. Just we are going to this topic. First of all, we have to discuss nuclear energy. Energy released by a nucleus during nuclear reaction is known as nuclear energy. The question arises how this nucleus energy arises. This nucleus energy arises, or this nuclear energy arises due to the mass defect that we have discussed in the previous class of chapter nuclei. Whenever there is some defect in mass, that mass defect can be converted into energy. That's why we can write this large amount of energy which will be produced due to the mass defect, and this energy can be used to produce peaceful purpose such as the production of electricity. Now we are discussing nuclear reaction. What is meant by nuclear reaction? Those reactions in which nucleus is affected by the reaction are known as nuclear reaction. Generally we come across with chemical reaction. In chemical reaction, the composition of atom remains as it is. For example, whenever H2 and O2 combines, we get water, but again the chemical formula of water is H2O. It means hydrogen remains hydrogen, oxygen remain oxygen, only they get combined in the form of a compound. But during nuclear reaction, nucleus is affected. For example, in next slide we will see that during nuclear fusion, hydrogen combines and form helium. It means the existence of hydrogen is completely removed and a new product is formed, that is known as helium. It means element have been changed, and such type of reaction is known as nuclear reaction. Therefore we can say those reactions in which nucleus is affected is known as nuclear reaction. Mainly there are two types of nuclear reaction, and that is very famous: nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. One is nuclear fission and other is nuclear fusion. Here nuclear fusion means fission. Nuclear fission means splitting of a heavy nucleus into comparatively smaller nuclei, and tremendous amount of energy is released in this reaction. This is known as nuclear fission. But the nuclear fusion is just opposite to the nuclear fission. In nuclear fusion, two or more than two lighter nuclei fuse together, combine together to form a comparatively heavier nucleus with simultaneous release of tremendous amount of energy. It means in nuclear fission or nuclear fusion, energy will be released in both the reactions. At that energy is the result of mass defect. That mass defect get converted into energy by using Einstein's mass energy relation. So these are the two main nuclear reaction. One is nuclear fission and other is nuclear fusion. We will discuss these reaction in one by one with detail. Nuclear fission. Nuclear fission was discovered by Otto Hahn and Stresemann in 1935, and it was explained by Niels Bohr and J.A. Wheeler on the basis of liquid drop model of nucleus. What is liquid drop model of nucleus? Just I am going to discuss. Here is the nuclear reaction in which this is nucleus 92 uranium 235. This is a very heavy nucleus, and when this nucleus is bombarded with neutrons, initially neutron is absorbed by this uranium nucleus and the size of uranium nucleus get disturbed. The size get disturbed, and after some time the positive charge center of the nucleus divided in two parts. The positive charge center of the nucleus divided in two parts, and therefore there is repulsion between the center of these two positive parts, and we get a dumbbell-like structure, and finally it will divided in two drops, just like the splitting of a bigger liquid drop into two smaller drops. That is a simple explanation of nuclear fission with the help of liquid drop model. So hence nuclear fission is the splitting of a heavy nucleus into two comparatively smaller nuclei. Otto Hahn and Stresemann observed that when 92 uranium 235 bombarded by fast moving neutrons, it get splits into two or more than two lighter nuclei, which are mainly baryon and krypton, with tremendous amount of release of energy. This reaction is known as nuclear fission reaction. The reaction can be written as like this: 92 uranium 235, here 92 is the number of protons or atomic number, 235 that is mass number, 0 and 1 this is neutron. When this nuclear reaction take place, we get first part as 56 barium 143, second is 36 krypton 92 plus 3 0 and 1, it means 3 neutron we will also get, and plus 200 mega electron volt of energy. Remember, this 200 mega electron volt of energy is released only by the one uranium atom, and that is tremendous amount of energy which cannot be released in any other reaction. That's why nuclear reactions are widely used for the production of electricity. Again, we can say that the process in which a heavy nucleus splits up into two nuclei of nearly equal mass with releasing large amount of energy is called nuclear fission. We can define fission as the reaction in which a heavy nucleus splits into two comparatively smaller nuclei with simultaneous release of tremendous amount of energy, that is known as nuclear reaction. The difference in mass of the reactant and products, that is also known as mass defect, is the source of this energy, and by using Einstein's mass energy relation, this mass defect get converted into energy. In this process, the fission of one uranium atom produces about 200 mega electron volt of energy. One atom only of uranium will produce 200 mega electron volt of energy, and if this energy we use for peaceful purpose, then large amount of electric energy can be generated by this, and that we will discuss in the topic nuclear reactor. Now we can diagrammatically represent this nuclear fission reaction. Here is a very slow neutron, because nuclear fission cannot be possible with fast neutrons. Therefore, the speed of neutrons or neutrons are slowed down with the help of moderators. This is 92 uranium 235. Here it is written 92 uranium 235, and this so neutrons bombard on that. When this neutron bombarded on the uranium nuclei, uranium initially absorbed this neutron and it become 92 uranium 236, and the size of nucleus get disturbed, or there is some disturbance in the size of nucleus, and within a very short interval of time this nucleus get splitted in two parts. One part is barium, other part is krypton. We will also get three neutrons. These are the three neutrons, this neutron, this is, and this is the neutron, and with simultaneous release of energy. So this is the schematic diagram of nuclear fission reaction, in which a heavy nucleus splits into two lighter nuclei with simultaneous release of very large amount of energy, and it is possible only after the bombardment of this projectile particle that is known as neutron. So this is the diagram of nuclear fission. Now we are going to discuss chain reaction. As the name suggests, chain reaction, it means that is automatically proceed further. In fission, just we have discussed that one neutron collide. In the previous diagram we have seen that one neutron collide with 192 uranium 235 atom, and a large amount of energy is released with three neutrons. If these three neutrons, if this reaction continues, it means if these three neutrons react with three nuclei, then they will produce 9 neutrons. Then 9 neutron, if react with 9 uranium atom, they can produce 27 neutron, and so on. If this process goes on continue, then within very short interval of time, within a very small interval of time, number of nuclei undergoes fission, producing extremely high amount of energy. And this reaction is self-sustained chain reaction. It means once the reaction starts, it automatically proceed further till the whole uranium gets completed or whole uranium get splitted. Such type of reaction is known as chain reaction. It means this reaction will proceed automatically. One by one, all the neutrons will get splitted. They will produce neutron, and these neutrons will be further utilized for the reaction with other nuclei or other uranium atoms. Such type of reaction is known as chain reaction. The chain reaction once started continue till all the uranium nucleus disintegrate and large amount of energy is produced. It means without outside agency we are not able to stop this chain reaction, because the particle responsible for nuclear reaction is present here, that is uranium, and the particle which is causing nuclear reaction or causing nuclear fission is neutron, and which is continuously being produced during the reaction. Therefore chain reaction is self-sustained or self-driven. This chain reaction can be divided in two types, or we can say chain reactions are of two types. One is controlled chain reaction and other is known as uncontrolled chain reaction. The explanation is quite easy. Controlled nuclear chain reaction, it means by any means if we are able to control the rate of chain reaction, such type of reaction is known as controlled chain reaction, and this type of reactions only can be used for peaceful purpose, or we can say production of electricity which is taking place in the nuclear reactor. And those reactions in which the rate of nuclear reaction is beyond our control and tremendous amount of energy is released within a short interval of time and causing violent explosion, for example atom bomb, are known as nuclear chain reaction with uncontrolled manner, or we can say such reactions are known as uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction, with which ultimately results in the explosion of a bomb. Now we are discussing some points related to the controlled nuclear chain reaction. It means here the rate of reaction is under control. The nuclear reaction which can be controlled is known as nuclear chain reaction. And here how it can be controlled? We know that neutrons are the main particles which increases the rate of reaction, and by using cadmium and boron rods we can control the number of neutrons, and if number of neutrons are controlled, whole reaction can be controlled. The system in which the reaction can be performed is called a nuclear reactor. In nuclear reactor, the rate of nuclear reaction is under our control, and if this reaction take place at a steady rate, then this reaction will produce very large amount of energy, but not in the form of explosion. Here energy will be produced at a steady rate, and that energy can be used to run the turbine, which ultimately produces electric energy. This controlled energy can be used in peaceful work such as production of electricity. Now some more important factors related to the nuclear chain reaction. The chain reaction once started will remain steady, accelerate or retard depending upon a factor. It means how we can define that controlled and uncontrolled, that depend upon some factor. The chain reaction once started will remain steady. It may be steady, it may be accelerated, or it may be retarded depending upon a factor that is known as neutron reproduction factor K. Neutron reproduction factor K, it means how much neutrons are produced in a generation and how much neutrons are lost in a generation. It is defined as the ratio of rate of production of neutrons in a particular generation to the rate of loss of neutrons in a particular generation. If K equals to 1, the chain reaction will be steady. It will proceed at a constant rate. The size of fissionable material used is said to be the critical size, and its mass the critical mass. It means if K equals to 1, then chain reaction will proceed at a steady rate, and in that case the mass is known as critical mass, and the size of nucleus atom or nuclear material is known as critical size. So these are the two important points, critical size and critical mass, which are required for a sustained chain reaction. If K greater than 1, then chain reaction continue accelerates and its rate goes on increasing continuously and resulting in an explosion, because the energy will be produced at a very fast rate, and therefore finally it will result in an explosion. The size of material in this case is known as supercritical, and ultimately it will result in atom bomb. It means initially for K equals to 1, the size is known as critical size, and for K equals to K greater than 1, the size becomes supercritical, and it will result in the explosion of atom bomb. And if K less than 1, it means the number of neutron is small, the chain reaction gradually comes to a halt. It means its rate goes on decreasing, and ultimately the reaction will be halt or stop. The size of the material used is said to be subcritical. In this case, the size will be known as subcritical. It means there are three main topics here. One is critical size, other is supercritical, and one is subcritical. For K equals to 1, the size will be critical. K greater than 1, the size is said to be supercritical, and K less than 1, the size is said to be subcritical. Now we are going to discuss different type of nuclear reaction. Initially we have discussed nuclear fission, in which a heavy nucleus splits into two or more than two parts, but in this reaction two or more than two lighter nuclei combines to form a comparatively heavier nucleus, that is known as fusion. This is known as nuclear fusion reaction. Fusion is a process in which the lighter nuclei fuse together to form a heavy nuclei, but this reaction can take place only in the presence of extremely high temperature and pressure. the mass of newly formed atom is less than the initial mass. It means again in the nuclear, just like nuclear fusion reaction, here mass of reactant and mass of product will have some difference, and that difference is known as mass defect. The difference in mass, that is known as mass defect, is converted into energy according to Einstein's mass energy relation. It means whether it is nuclear fission or it is nuclear fusion, mass defect is the main source of nuclear energy. The example of nuclear fusion is the fusion of two deuterium nuclei into a helium nucleus. It means when two deuterium nuclei fuse together, they form a comparatively heavier nucleus, that is helium, with again simultaneous release of tremendous amount of energy. Such type of reaction is known as nuclear fusion reaction. This is the example of nuclear fusion. Here there are two deuterium nuclei, 1H2, that is isotope of hydrogen. If it is 1H1, then it is known as proton or protium, and this is 1H2, that is known as deuterium. 1H2 plus 1H2, when two deuterium combines together under the presence of extremely high temperature and pressure, it forms helium nuclei with release of approximately 26 mega electron volt of energy. 26 mega electron volt of energy will be produced only by the two deuterium. It means here energy produced will be very high. But what is the important point for fusion to take place? It requires extremely high temperature and pressure. This type of reaction is known as nuclear fusion reaction. Now again we can say that nuclear fusion take place in the presence of extremely high temperature. So this reaction is also known as thermonuclear reaction. This is again a very important topic. Generally it is asked that what are thermonuclear reactions? Those nuclear reactions which can take place only under the presence of extremely high temperature are known as thermonuclear reactions. And these continuous thermonuclear reactions are the source of energy in the sun and other stars. Sun and other stars are continuously experiencing nuclear fusion reaction, and this nuclear fusion reaction or thermonuclear reaction is the main source of energy in the sun and other stars. One comparison here we can do: energy produced per nucleon in fusion is 26 divided by 4. Why 26 divided by 4? Just in the previous slide we have seen that 4 nucleon. Why 4? 1H2 plus 1H2. It means there are 4 nucleon. 4 nucleon produces 26 mega electron volt of energy. It means energy produced per nucleon during fusion will be 26 divided by 4. That will be 6.5 mega electron volt per nucleon. But if we compare the same energy per nucleon in fission, it comes to be very small, because in fission energy produced is 200 mega electron volt, but the number of nucleons used is 236. Why 236? Because 235 is for uranium and 1 is for neutron. Total 236 nucleons will produce 200 mega electron volt of energy. It means energy produced during fission per nucleon will be 0.84 mega electron volt per nucleon. Hence, total energy produced, or we can say energy produced per nucleon during fusion, will be very high in comparison to nuclear fission. Although energy produced in nuclear fusion is very high, although nuclear energy produced in nuclear fusion is very high, but till today we are not able to produce controlled nuclear fusion reaction. It means till today we are not able to use the energy produced in nuclear fusion for peaceful purpose, because we are not able to construct such a nuclear reactor which can bear extremely high temperature where nuclear fusion can take place. Now we are discussing some questions related to the topic so that we can understand the topic again. You can think about the questions. These are very simple questions. What are nuclear forces? In this question, you have to define what are nuclear forces. We can simply say those forces which are responsible for binding of nucleons inside a nucleus is known as nuclear force. Then in addition, you can write also some properties of nuclear force. Then the next question, write at least 4 properties of nuclear force. We have discussed so many properties. Again, I am recalling so that you can remember. Nuclear forces are saturated force. Nuclear forces are strongest force. Nuclear forces are charge independent force. Nuclear forces are spin dependent force. Nuclear forces are central forces. There are so many properties. You can revise these properties again and again. Compare the strength of nuclear force and electrostatic force. I think you got the answer. This is very easy question. Compare the strength of nuclear force and electrostatic force. The factor is 100. Nuclear forces are 100 times stronger than the electrostatic force. What is nuclear fusion? Just in the last slides, we have discussed this topic. Nuclear fusion, those reactions in which very lighter nuclei combines together to form comparatively heavier nucleus is known as nuclear fusion. Then what is the source of continuous energy in the sun and other stars? The answer is very easy, thermonuclear reactions or nuclear fusion. Write reaction of nuclear fission of 92 uranium 235. Very easy equation, you can write very easily.